Alright, so I'm back at it again. Last part I discussed was that piece underneath with the 3 bolts down there. Got that tightened down. There's a ring under this piece, if you would have seen under one of my other videos. I'll put that back in. There's a little 10mm bolt right here that you have to get it past, so you might just have to back that bolt out just a hair, and then you can slide that ring in. I just kind of dipped this side up under and then laid it down. It sat in there just fine. And then I had to put this piece in there, which is what the center differential sits on. The viscous coupling goes under that, but being that I've got a welded center diff, I'm not going to need that. Now, what I will say is that I had to put that piece in there, and it's a very tight fit, and you'll see this little notch right there. That's got to be in that exact direction, because when that nut comes through, or not the nut, the bolt comes through right there. Sorry, trying to look at my camera. Okay, so that bolt right there, when it comes through, it's got to be able to have a place to go, so it's got to go in that notch right there. Okay, now when you put it down in there, it's going to be a very tight fit. So I have some old spare transmission parts over there. I took this gear. You might need something similar, because I wasn't sure if it's going down all the way, and I didn't think it was. I could look through the gap down in there and see it wasn't down close to the ring, so I sat that down in there. I took an extension, and I just took this socket right there, put it right over it, put that on top, and then I smacked it with the hammer lightly, and it went down the rest of the way. So I got that part in there, and now that's good. So being careful, because it's a tight fit, you don't want to cock it all to the side and jack up the casing or anything. So all right, that being said, let me reach over here. I've got my center differential that was all welded up. All I should have to do now is set that in there like so, but I think my shaft has to go through first in there from the other side, or no, I think from that side, and then that goes down on top of it. So I'm probably going to take that out, try and get the shaft in. The shaft wasn't in it when I had to take all this apart, so that's going to be a new part for me. Now, I believe, unlike a manual transmission, for the center differential, or for the shaft, I should say, I'm sorry, there's a little ball that holds the shaft in. On this is a little clip on the inside. Let me see, I'm trying to see if I can see it. It's down in there. Let me try and get up under the light. Hold on, let me get a better grip, because the last thing I want to do is go dropping this sucker after all that work or all that waiting I did to get it done. If you see that little clip, you'll see the little on the other side, that little shiny piece where there's a part where it's not shiny, where the gap is at. That should be the clip. So I'm going to try and get the shaft in there first, then I'll come back and let you know how that goes. All right, so all I'm going to say is, you can see the shaft. I'm pushing it in from the bottom side on the other side, and then that's going to go on top of it. Sorry, I'm a little zoomed in there, didn't zoom out, but I'm probably going to have to turn the transmission on its side to be able to get it on there. But I'm going to go ahead and put that in there, and then ram the shaft up in it to try and see if I can get it to stick. So I'm going to try this. Wish me luck. I don't want to be ramming my center differential out. Or probably what I may do is get that installed first and make sure everything's secured so it can't go pop out, and then do the shaft last from that point. So anyway, be right back. All right, so I got my center differential in. Have to put this gear on like so. I gotta spin it around a little bit. Can't tell if it's got a master spline or not. Let me see. A little tight in there. There we go. Okay, so that's in there now. All right. Now I gotta go back and look and see what goes on the end of this. That probably just stays there, but I have a feeling something holds that in, so I want to be sure. And then I gotta put the gear right in there. Let me go research, because it's been a while. I'll be right back. All right. So what it was, this plate right here has to go on it, and it's got a little O-ring there, which I like, versus having to gasket that comes off, you got to peel, or some RTV that where it might leak or something. It's got a nice little O-ring there. I believe I'd purchase the O-ring to go around that. I got to put that on there. I forgot to clean this, so I'm not putting it on here tonight. I'll do that. I'm going to clean it up, paint it, make it look a little bit nicer like the rest of the transmission housing. Don't forget, there's this little spacer here, or shim. You don't want to lose that, so definitely don't want to lose that piece. So I'm just going to lay it right there for now. I'm going to bolt that in tomorrow. All I'll say right now is that I'm going to go ahead and put that gear back in here. Basically the opposite of what I did on the last video where I took it out. It's just the opposite. Got to put it in there. There should be a shim that goes on each side, I believe, if I remember right. Once the gear is in there and this piece drops in, because this piece will pull up, slide it down in between, put the gear down, the bolt down in there, and hammer the little metal pieces up over so the bolt can't back out. So just remember to do that part there. So I'm not going to put that part in the video. Pretty self-explanatory there as far as that's concerned. But I may get the gear back on here, this end piece, finish that part up, and that's just opposite of assembly as well. I guess I'll stop here for now. I'll try and finish up in the daylight. I don't normally like working on cars at night. Very easy to lose parts, but I have a nice little bright light above me, otherwise I wouldn't even be touching it. But that's it for now. I'll continue when I get a chance. Hope y'all enjoy it. Alright, so back at it again. Clean my plate up here a little bit. It's not perfect. I didn't really feel like painting it, but I got it pretty decent. Used some mineral spirits, and then used a brush to clean out most of the grease. Washed it down with a hose, and then took a wire brush attachment on my drill to basically polish it up a little bit. But aside from that, that's all I did to it. I just got to put this in here now. Just got to make sure that is centered, and then I'll have it in there. And it's not gears that I got to put on here, it's the end clutches. So I just got to get that fixed up and get that done. I'll have that done today, but I'm going to go ahead and bolt this part down, and that will complete this portion here, and then I'll be done with that. Just got to finish that. This piece with the front diff, and I did get the gear in here. I think in my last video I was saying that there's two washers. There's just one on this side. There wasn't one on this side. I had to go back and look at my videos where I tore it apart. But I already tightened everything down, bent up the 3 tabs. There's 1, 2, and 3 on this side. This is just for alignment, and that's pretty much it for that. So gonna get to it. Until next time. Alright, so I got that plate right there on. Got those little bolts or screws, whatever you want to call them, put there from this piece right here. So putting it back together, you've got this little clip right here. Pretty easy to get on. You just gotta basically feed it on around. As easy as that. So then after that, put this piece on. This only goes on one way. You can see how they all line up now. If you turn it right there, see the bolt holes don't line up. So it's part with the gap that goes towards the top. And then we'll put all the screws in. And it's got a couple little gears, or splines, I should say, shafts, whatever you want to call it. They go right here, then your end clutch cover back on that. I'm going to get all these put in here, tighten them down, and then the end clutch cover, after I get that done, there's already a video on that, so I'll post that separately. I'll try and post a link for that one under here. I've got a thread under DSM Tuners under the archives where I'm trying to get all this stuff put at, so for anything that's related to it. So if you happen to be watching this particular video, you can look for that thread. It's under the I think it's the tech articles under the drivetrain section, so just so that you're aware. But anyway, I'm going to tighten these down, then I got to work on the end clutch kit. I'm not going to make a video on that, being that there's already one out there. I'm just trying to cover the stuff that's not already covered out there on the internet. But anyway, I'm going to get this part done, then I'll finish up and go from there.